Now, a WYFF News 4 sports special.
We're excited to be here. Our guys are fired up.
A national championship on the line.
Oh, and it's intercepted.
You come to Georgia to be the best, to be elite.
Goodbye.
With a big SEC rematch.
They have one tremendous front seven.
The Georgia Bulldogs take on the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Just a national championship, man. I mean, go Dogs. We want to win this thing.
Now, road to title.
A rematch both 5 weeks and 5 years in the making. Alongside Julia Morris, I'm Mark Whiteman, and this is Road to the Title inside Lucas Oil Stadium.
Mark, a little more than a month ago, these two teams met to decide a conference championship. Half a decade ago, they met to decide a national title. Now the two SEC superpowers meet again.
Some call Indianapolis the crossroads of America. That's befitting the Bulldogs. They themselves at a crossroads. Linger in the outsized shadow, cast in crimson tide, or carve a new way forward and erase a decades-old drought. Tonight, in the home of IndyCar and the heart of Big Ten country, the Midwest makes way for the SEC. Its two very best, here at last, together yet again. Old friends, fierce rivals, to crown the national champion.
You know, Georgia's consistency this year was outstanding. The Dogs were never in danger of losing a regular season game, all the way up into, of course, the SEC championship. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Alabama had their ups and downs this year, Julia, but they turned the tide in that SEC title game, and both teams blew past their semifinal opponents.
Both teams getting double-digit wins in the college football playoff. Georgia's defense outstanding against Michigan in the Orange Bowl. They kept the Wolverines out of the end zone for 3 quarters. Alabama also equally dominant, limiting Cincinnati to just 2 field goals in the Cotton Bowl. And Mark, Alabama quarterback Bryce Young also outstanding in that game as well.
Yeah, Bryce Young put together one of the incredible seasons we have ever seen from a quarterback in college football. 46 passing touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. He's only part of a loaded Alabama attack. Brian Robinson just rushed for more than 200 yards in the Cotton Bowl. Jamison Williams, he is 5th in the country in receiving. Alabama 3rd in the nation in scoring. And Georgia's Kirby Smart said this week the Tide present the ultimate challenge.
We talk about him as Houdini because he can make people miss. He gets rid of the ball. People don't even account for the number of times this guy has avoided sacks. You know, Brian Robinson seems like he's been there for 100 years because when I was there before, I remember him being in high school. And he is a physical, runs with purpose, intent, but make no mistake about it, they can be really explosive on the outside. That's what you got to be careful of.
The Tide are always physical up front. Smart saying that is a staple of Nick Saban coach teams.
And the battle in the trenches, certainly one to watch for tonight. After their performance against Alabama in the SEC championship game, Georgia's defense responded in a big way in the Orange Bowl, limiting Michigan's top 10 run game to a season-low 88 yards. Alabama head coach Nick Saban saying Georgia's front 7 is the biggest challenge his team will face tonight.
They have one tremendous front 7. They've got great size, really good football players, physical, very instinctive. They have very good defense in total, but it starts with that. They create a lot of negative plays. They got some really good pass rushers. It's going to be, critical for us to be able to, play well up front in the offensive line to have any chance of being successful on offense.
Bryce Young also saying this weekend there's definitely a respect factor when it comes to the Bulldogs front 7. 2 of the top teams in the country, 2 of the most talented teams in the country. Mark, a lot of future NFL playmakers on both sides of the ball tonight.
Yeah, 19 5-star recruits on this Georgia Bulldogs team. But Julia, it is a former walk-on that is leading this Bulldogs offense close to the season. And you know what? 16 months ago, most people outside of Athens didn't even know who Stetson Bennett was. But since rallying Georgia to a season-opening win against Arkansas last year, he's won 13 of his 16 starts and turned a restrained offensive attack into big play Bulldogs. Georgia third in the country in yards per attempt. He's taking his shots, and he played arguably the best game of a career on New Year's Eve against Michigan.
To have the opportunity to be the starting quarterback here, first of all, I'm lucky and, extremely blessed. But, it's also exciting. You come here to Georgia because you want these type games. You come to the university because you think you're a good enough football player to play at University of Georgia, and you want to play against really good other players from other teams. And we're playing against, the best in the country this week.
As good as he's been, like the rest of his teammates, he's been stymied by Alabama. 2 of his 3 losses have come against the Tide. 11 interceptions as a starter, nearly half of those in 2 games against Alabama. Bennett's mobile. He doesn't get sacked a ton, just 14 times in his 16 career starts, but 5 of those courtesy of the Crimson Tide. And check out the drop in completion percentage from 70% in his 14 non-Bama starts to just 53% against Alabama.
And on the other side of the ball, Bennett's counterpart in this game, Bryce Young, gave the Georgia defense fits last time around. The Bulldogs had no answers for Alabama or their quarterback as he totaled 460 yards and 4 touchdowns. Most troubling for Georgia, no sacks. After averaging more than 3 a game, Georgia never got to Young. The only game all season they failed to bring down the quarterback.
Number one, he did a good job of moving around in the pocket, of creating time. Extremely good athlete, has elite spatial awareness. It wasn't for a lack of trying. We brought a lot of different pressures. They did a good job on picking those pressures up. And at the end of the day, there's 4 or 5 guys that are one-on-one up there. Somebody's got to win.
We got to get to the quarterback. It's just nothing else about it. Last game, we did not do that. And I know a lot of people felt hurt after that one. And, that's our job as pass rushers is to get after the quarterback. And we didn't do that. And the difference between this game and that game is we just have to do it. We have to find a way.
Young won Offensive MVP for the SEC title game and then the Heisman after torching the Bulldogs.
It is getting loud in here. The band is playing right now. But as we talk about the 2 quarterbacks in this game, I thought it was so funny this week. Georgia defensive tackle Jordan Davis said they started calling Bryce Young the gingerbread man because of his elusiveness and his slippery ability to escape the pressure. And I couldn't figure that out at first. It went way over my head. And then I thought about it. The fairy tale rhyme, run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. Georgia unable to catch Young in the SEC championship game. How they deal with pressuring him tonight will go a long way towards deciding who wins this game.
That's right, Mark. And even though Georgia quarterback Stetson Bennett doesn't have the funny nickname that Bryce Young has, Bennett is one of the great stories in college football. If you are a fan of this game, it is really hard to root against Stetson Bennett, a former walk-on. He comes from a football family, told a great story this week how his grandfather hitchhiked to South Carolina to go play for the Gamecocks. I mean, this is a guy, football's in his blood. He's gone through so much adversity to get to this point. Now to see him starting on the big stage, I think it's fantastic.
And Bennett will try to become just the first walk-on ever, former walk-on, to defeat a Nick Saban coach team. Hey, we have only just begun on our road to the title special, still to come in the midst of a historic season. How the Bulldogs defense is getting it done.
Plus, records are meant to be broken. Georgia tight end Brock Bowers already getting to work. Coming up, you'll find out how the freshman has already written his name into history books. That's straight ahead in our Road to the Title special.
On 1st and goal, Bennett to Bowers. And Brock Bowers scores, and Georgia draws first blood.
A young Georgia player making a splash this season. Freshman tight end Brock Bowers scored the Bulldogs' first touchdown in the Orange Bowl, his 6th touchdown in the last 4 games. Bowers has dazzled all season with his elite size and speed, and he's been one of Georgia's most powerful weapons on offense. As he gets ready to play in his first national championship game, Georgia is expecting big things from Brock Bowers.
Bowers dives to the goal line. Yes, touchdown.
Just 4 games into his first season as a college football player, Georgia freshman Brock Bowers made program history. Bowers became the first Georgia player with a rushing and receiving touchdown in the first quarter of a game since Todd Gurley did it in 2013. Georgia head coach Kirby Smart saying he knew from the moment he started recruiting the young tight end that he would be special.
This is a guy that would put his phone up and go run up a mountain or a hill out in Napa and sprint up the hill and back then down the hill and send video of it. So like he was wired differently. During COVID, we would challenge recruits to send a video of them working out, and he embraced that. Like he worked out every day.
Bowers' hard work has paid off. His 12 touchdown catches this year are a single-season Georgia record by any pass catcher.
I mean, when you work hard, usually good things happen in return. I just knew, like, early in the season, he had a game where he had 3 touchdowns, I believe it was like UAB or something. And I just knew right there that he was going to be great.
And it's not just his size and speed that make Bowers an electric player. It's what he does off the field that sets him apart.
He works awfully hard at his craft. He knows one speed. So right away, we know he'd be able to contribute. Did we know it'd be to this extent? Of course not. So, but once we saw him work, his skill set, we knew that, we had a chance to have somebody that we could rely on. We've just tried to continually move him around, put him in a position to make plays. He's embraced that. He works awfully hard.
As Georgia prepares to face Alabama in the national championship game, Crimson Tide head coach Nick Saban knows his team has its hands full with Bowers.
I think this guy is one of the premier players in college football. I know he's just a freshman, but this guy's got great size. He's a good blocker. He's physical. He's tough. This guy is just a phenomenal football player all the way around. Does a good job in his part of executing whatever he needs to do to, help his teammates have success as well.
Mark, whatever happens tonight, going to be decided by talented players like Brock Bowers, but the relationship between these two head coaches also something special.
Yeah, Kirby Smart spent more than a decade coaching under Nick Saban. He's one of 24 former assistants that have gone on to coach at either the college or NFL level as a head coach, and this is actually the 5th meeting between Smart and Saban since he took over in Athens in 2016, and the 4th to decide a championship. Smart has built aspects of his program in the image of Alabama's, and while they'll compete against each other tonight, there's nothing but respect in this rivalry.
It's a great honor to be across from Coach Saban and the tremendous job he's done, but it's probably nothing unusual for him to be in this game because he's been in this game an awful lot, and I know he doesn't take that for granted because I know the work and effort he puts into it to get his team here. I've been able to see that. I've been a part of that. I also know the work and effort we've put in to get to this point. Like we've always said, it's not about he and I, it's about the players and their opportunities to go out and be successful and make a lasting memory.
Really kind of an honor to have the opportunity to play against what we feel is one of the most elite programs in the country, and probably just looking at the future, probably will be for some time in the future as well.
Smart hoping to join Clemson's Dabo Swinney as the only head coaches to Saban in a national title game. All right, Julia, let's get defensive still to come in our road to the title special. A former Clemson Tiger making the most of his second chance with his second team, and he's stepping up big for the Bulldogs.
Plus, fans have braved the frigid temperatures in Indianapolis all week. You'll find out who they think will win this big national championship game coming up in our road to the title special.
At right tackle,
Hey, welcome back to our Road to the Title special. You know, the Georgia defense has been outstanding all season long and has drawn comparisons and praise for being historically good. After they beat Kentucky in October, Wildcats head coach Mark Stoops called Georgia's front seven the best he's ever seen. The Bulldogs have been about their business since the season started, and there is only one thing left to do.
Oh, and it's intercepted by Nakobe Dean. Goodbye.
Speed, size, strength, smarts. Georgia's defense has it all.
Sacked again.
We came here to be legendary, be special, leave your mark.
And another interception. This one's Nolan Smith.
We just going in with the same mindset that we always go in, you know, and that's to be elite, you know, and have complete dominance.
And under the tutelage of Kirby Smart and defensive coordinator Dan Lanning, that's exactly what they've done.
They come to work every day. They never really concern themselves with outcomes and results. They've really just enjoyed working. They like to practice. They like being around each other. So I enjoy being around them. They've made it a joy to coach them.
You know, our guys take a tremendous amount of pride in the way we work and the work we put into this season. But it doesn't take anything exceptional or extraordinary. Just do what we know how to do.
What they do starts up front with big number 99. 6'6", 340-pound Jordan Davis, winner of both the Bednarik Award for Defensive Player of the Year and the Outland Trophy as the nation's top interior lineman.
You know, I had 3 shots at Alabama and I haven't beaten them yet. So that's speaking for myself as a team, you know, winning a national championship. This is what we're grinding for. This is what we work for all season.
But Davis is just the tip of an enormous iceberg.
No chance. Jalen Carter, number 88, may be about as talented as number 99.
Nakobe Dean's been a nightmare tonight.
Butkus Award winner Nakobe Dean, a mechanical engineering major, can deconstruct an offense in a split second.
But he can't escape Nakobe Dean.
I feel like this team has done nothing but work hard to get better, day in and day out, and I feel like they'll be reciprocating on the field.
Just be able to play fast and trust the plan and know what you're doing. It helps a lot.
They're confident and they're overwhelming. Number 1 in the country in points allowed, number 2 in yards allowed. Sacks, turnovers, touchdowns, you name it, they did it. And they might have saved their best for last, holding Michigan to 3 points until the final minutes of their Orange Bowl blowout.
After the last Alabama game, we just like our wake-up call. We had to realize that we had a lot of work to do, and we haven't arrived yet. And we just came back, you know, worked hard, and went out and played Michigan, and, you know, we've seen the result of that game.
And he's swarmed by Dean.
Now, can they carry that mindset into Monday night?
And one of Georgia's star defensive players, cornerback Darion Kendrick, named defensive MVP of the Orange Bowl after a 2-interception performance. Kendrick's success on the big stage not coming without controversy. He was dismissed from the Clemson program last spring, but has found a second home in Athens. And though his time with the Tigers came to an abrupt end, he still has love for what he learned there.
I had great coaches there, and they taught me ways to be a better person, become a better football player as well. And I just took those things and just put them into myself and my game so I can just elevate and on and off the field.
Kendrick can win his second national championship on Monday. He was a wide receiver on Clemson's 2018 national title team.
Hey, we are closing up shop after the break, but you want to stick around for the story we have straight ahead. A former TL Hanna Yellow Jacket cheering on the Bulldogs, and he's got a pretty special reason why.
That's right. You'll find out why the number 41 means more to him than just the years that have passed since Georgia's last national championship. Journalist Renee Wunderlich has a fantastic story straight ahead.
Hey, welcome back to Road to the Title. What's in a number? For one former Georgia Bulldog back home in the upstate, it has a much deeper meaning than just 2 digits.
From TL Hanna to Athens, our Renee Wunderlich introduces us.
It's been 41 years since Georgia last won the national championship. Pat McShay says the number 41 means a lot. It used to be on the jersey of a high school friend, which is how it ended up being his number when he played for the Bulldogs just over 4 decades ago.
That's the number he wore and I just felt like it gave me some extra luck.
That's not the only similarity.
We had 3 shutouts, just like this year's team.
McShay also played football at T.L. Hanna High School. He still calls Anderson County home.
When I look back at all the years I played football, it doesn't matter if it's second grade or the last game. They're all important. But Hanna, that's where I received the discipline that I needed at that time in my life.
And it's discipline that helps Georgia beat Notre Dame 17-10. 41 years ago.
In fact, I can remember Coach Ross keep yelling out, "One more time, just one more time," meaning we had to go out on the field and stop Notre Dame. We won a national championship by completing only 1 pass.
In South Carolina, I'm Renee Wunderlich, WYFF News 4.
Renee, thank you. Well, we know who Pat is pulling for tonight's big game, but what about the rest of the fans we ran into this week? We spent some time at the Playoff Fan Central.
Photojournalist Jarrett McDarris talked to fans about their excitement for this game and who they think will come out on top.
It is very exciting. Looks like the perfect storm and a rematch from a couple of weeks ago.
We're pumped up. I hope we can play like we did against Michigan last week. If we can do that, I think we can pull it off and beat Alabama.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so why not spend the money and get down here and see them play?
This is the national championship, man. I mean, go Dogs. We will win this thing.
We're going to come out on top. I didn't drive all the way up here to lose. I didn't pay that money to lose. I come up here to win. That's what we're here for.
I think Alabama will win 38-21. I just think Nick Saban's too good.
32-24. Because I think Georgia's defense is going to slow Alabama down this time.
I think Alabama's going to win. I think it'll be like 28-24.
It's got to be the Dogs, man. Come on, but I think it'll be a tight game. I don't know, 31-24 Dogs, baby.
Well, it is getting loud in here. The teams are on the field. We're going to scoot upstairs. Thanks for joining us on our road to the title special. For Julia Morris, I'm Mark Whiteman. Have a good night and enjoy the game.